Hey, what's up, players? This is SWE General Manager and WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and you're watching Rogue Villain Media. Holla!
Episode of Heels Up. I am Vlad St. Valentine, and with me is the one who matters, Mr. Reggie Lincoln. How the hell are you?
Oh, I'm great, man. How are you, man?
I'm excellent. And behind the scenes, running producer stand, is the host with the Hermosus, Mr. Caden Ramos.
How's it going?
Dude, great. Just chilling.
Yep.
You know, toasted. Nicely toasted.
Yeah.
As Cypress Hill once said.
That and getting toasted. Nicely toasted.
Oh, I'm so full of
crap food,
fish sticks, and like frozen hot wings and the pot stickers that like I don't even want to do the show. I just like
none of that is helping my diet.
I want this terrible food to rip through my stomach like an alien and be done with the evening. Like
oh it will.
All right, so Raw this week starts off with fuck all happening and who cares? Let's go home, guys.
All right, that's our show, people.
So we start off our night with Alexa Bliss having her moment of bliss with Randy Orton, and Randy Orton's like, I think I've found the Fiend's weakness, and it's Alexa. Fiend comes out and the lights pop up. Randy's kind of holding Alexa, in his arms and stuff, and the Fiend takes her from Randy, rather quickly and runs Randy off. But Randy's smirking because he's found the weakness in the Fiend. He's found
that's Randy's technique. He knows that's why he's the Viper. He knows how to find your weakness. He really does. I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I still don't think Randy needs to beat the Fiend, but it's definitely a, you got to look at it like a horror movie. Each time the Fiend is brought out to face somebody, it is kind of like, a Jason or a Freddy movie. Each time they try something different to kill him, like once they tried burying Freddy's bones with holy water and a crucifix or some BS. Yeah. I think that was the third one, wasn't it? Or the fourth one?
Third one, I believe.
Yeah, it's the horror movie thing. You can come at them in different ways. And so this is the next attempt to find a weakness for the Fiend. Randy will look like he hasn't beat, and then the Fiend will pop out of the water again and drag him under and be ready for the next sequel. Like you do with any good horror movie character.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't kill this one off too quickly.
I always like Randy. I like Randy more when he's working with Bray than any other time. They work well together. I like that Randy will loan his credibility to the sincerity of how spooky Bray is supposed to be. So we get the second talk show of the night. Miz and Morrison have Sheamus out, and we're in this weird moment where Sheamus is still a heel, but we want him to team with Drew McIntyre. So he's kind of come out of here playing the face.
We know what this is leading up to.
Well, we're gonna have a tag match later on the night. That's gonna be our main event. We're gonna have a tag match between Sheamus and Drew taking on Miz and Morrison, but Miz and Morrison have Sheamus out now on their show, and they're trying to drive a wedge between them and drive a wedge between their friendship. Miz gets all fucking intense with his stupid jacket on, and Sheamus gets in their face and smacks him around. They end up hitting him with the briefcase and knocking him out. And then, of course, I was sitting there watching, like, why didn't Drew come out and help Sheamus if they're supposed to be friends now? Which at least they had the wherewithal to cover in a backstage segment later. Like, because later on they're backstage and Sheamus is like, where the hell were you? If the situation was reversed, I'd do the exact same for you. He's like, yeah, I know you wouldn't come help me. That's why we get along. You don't need my fucking help. It was pretty funny. You picked a fight and got your butt whooped. Yeah. It's like two drunk guys in a pub. Your friend says something stupid and when somebody knocks him out for saying something stupid, he's like, ha.
That's a best friend for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the dynamic they're setting up with their relationship. It feels realer than anything else. I like the idea of Sheamus playing the tweener, leaning towards face, because he got to do a little bit of like some face moves tonight in the main event. You know what I'm saying?
He did.
Like when you're a heel, you can't do moves that pop people. Kind of takes away from the thing. But like him dodging Miz and Morrison and hitting them both the beats the Balron. They're doing the rolling. What would you call that? A rolling senton? Or no, it's a rolling Samoan. What the fuck would you call that move? What is that? The rolling fireman's carry.
Death Valley Driver.
No, he's not Death Valley Driver. I mean, he's just rolling on top of him. He got to seem like he had a little more fun tonight than he normally does. I like the idea of him being that tweener. Like, he's just like we were saying earlier, just make him like an extra from, Gangs of New York, which is basically how he's dressing anyway. So
Yeah.
just like making the Irish Stone Cold Steve Austin. He just wants to go get a pint. Anyone who pisses him off, he's going to, give him a couple of bare knuckle punches. Because, yeah, he's dressing like Brad Pitt in Snatch, essentially. So you might as well just.
Do you like dogs? Dogs. What?
Yeah, dogs.
Dogs. Do you like dogs? Oh, dogs. Sure. I like dogs.
Again, I don't know which direction they're going with Sheamus, but I like Sheamus as a face. You just can't have him make him be like a goody two shoes. Like, I'm here for the fans type face. You got to have him basically be like, again, when him and Drew get old enough for like 5 years out from retirement and they're no longer holding championships, make them the Celtic APA.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, I mean, Shane was pretty liked as a babyface anyway. Like last time he had a face run. So
like Randy, he's just naturally dickish. So he just plays naturally. He's just a better heel.
And he's a funny guy. So,
but I do like him as that. He's not trying to be a face. He's just, instead of cheating and making excuses and being a dick, you just, have him be the quiet, barroom brawler character. Just play the barroom brawler.
Yeah, he's not a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He's just the guy.
He just wants to have a pint.
I'm sorry. That was a Roman. Sorry. That was the old Roman thing.
So we also got a match between Cedric Alexander and Xavier Woods this evening for Xavier's first match since being named a G4 host and his first singles match since returning from injury. So It's been over a year since we've seen Xavier Woods in a singles match. And of course, he loses clean.
I mean, this is what Cedric needs right here, man. This needs to gather Cedric's momentum for this.
And Cedric went off afterwards. Like he was like screaming and hollering and like he ducked out the ring afterwards and was just like pumping his fists on the ramp, just like still super intense after the win. Like so much so the MVP and Shelton were in the ring like, where the hell are you going, man? Yeah. Like, why aren't you in here celebrating with us? What the fuck's going on? Like,
because it's Cedric's moment.
Okay.
It's Cedric's moment.
They're going to break him off this early?
I don't know.
Yeah. It just seems like he's just being a little weirdo and got a little too into it. And it just comes off as...
well, isn't that what the Hurt Business wanted?
Well, it comes off more like the Jey Uso, the desperation feel to it, Like he was that intense and into it because he got a win finally, I guess. Like it felt desperate. Him being that intense about it, seemingly out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, I know they lost a couple of tag team championship matches to it, but like this felt personal from Cedric. And like, I guarantee you Xavier didn't lose any fucking sleep over losing.
No.
You know what I mean? When it felt like it was outweighed emotionally by one opponent compared to the other. Like Cedric cared way more about this than Xavier obviously did. Where are they going with it? I'm interested to see where they go with it. Totally. It's
I think it's going with the tag titles going to the Hurt Business. That's why I think they're going with this.
Well, they need to be. This has got to bleed to something. If they just drop it next week, then it'll be very fucking bizarre. This has got to lead to something, and hopefully it does. Don't J.J. Abrams us, you fucking assholes. But what does that really mean for Xavier? His first singles match back and he loses. I guess it's not that big of a deal because he just came back and is already a tag team champion again. So
and he's already running on a lot of momentum. I mean, pass that momentum to somebody else, a little bit of that momentum to somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not hurting his legacy any.
Hey, we know Xavier is a giver. So we have a triple threat match to determine the number one contender to Drew McIntyre's WWE Championship between AJ, Matt Riddle, and your man, Mr.
Keith Lee.
Yeah. Dude, everyone looked great in this match.
Oh, for sure.
Everyone had time to shine. No one came away looking weak. Matt has been hilarious backstage recently. Has been really had a chance to kind of show his personality off. I'm digging the fact that Vince is letting him get away with the stoner jokes, especially this week.
I know, right? Like Vince know what it is.
The match was amazing. The having Keith Lee in the armbar and he was curling Matt Riddle. Great spots all the way around. But AJ does end up winning fairly clean with a phenomenal forearm. Man.
Oh, yeah.
Matt just, the only bad thing about it, Matt turned around, like sat there and waited to take that thing forever. It's like, oh, he totally deer in the headlights it.
Well, I think they're playing off of him being stoned.
Okay, I can accept that. He was just, It would have been funnier if, if AJ dangled some keys first to distract him and then hit the forearm.
We'll see if that happens. Some of the stuff we've said has happened on TV. So
This was the best match of the week, probably.
Oh, for sure. I mean, these guys can put on a show. They really can.
So AJ's great, and AJ's having a lot. AJ again is obviously having a lot of fun with this obnoxious heel character that he's playing. Him and his sidekick that he gets to play off of, and being like the little tiny yappy dog, or with his big sidekick next to him. The way he plays off of it's absolutely phenomenal. You see what I did there? So after his win tonight, as a matter of fact, we had a great backstage moment where Miz, and Morrison are like, "Hey AJ, help me, beat Drew, and so I can cash in my title." And AJ's like, "Of course, because it'd be much easier to beat you at TLC than it will be Drew McIntyre. So yeah, of course I'll help you win, no problem." But to butter him up, they brought him a peach pie because he's from Georgia, and everyone's like, "Oh, but leave the pie," And
Yeah.
damn it,
Who doesn't like pie?
I love pie. And peach, I could eat a peach for hours.
I can eat a peach for hours.
You know how great this whole bodyguard thing is? We have yet to see this guy get physical with anybody.
Well, except for when he carried AJ off at the end of the night to tuck him into bed.
Like, is that really physical, though?
It was sweet. It was like the end of Bodyguard with Kevin Costner and
Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
And no.
That's all you can sing.
No, I know.
Not because of copyright, just because you
I'm
can't
terrible.
sing.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mia Yim finally made her in-ring debut and lost to Dana Brooke of all damn people.
Wait a minute.
What?
That was Mia Yim the whole, I did not know that was Mia Yim the whole time. Wow. Wow. Her mask just flew off and I was like, whoa, that's Mia Yim. I didn't know that.
You broke Caden. Mia Yim losing her debut match, and I'm not sure what the hell the purpose of this is. If it's
Is she still going by Reckoning now?
Yeah, whatever. Reckoning. I'm not gonna say it's a stupid name. Mia Yim losing her debut match. I don't know if it's a fuck Mia Yim and fuck Retribution thing, or if it's we have to keep Dana somewhat strong now that she's associated with Mandy, and we want Mandy to be strong when she comes back. But Dana's done nothing but eat shit for the last fucking God knows how long.
5 years.
So having her come out and beat, even though it's a roll up, beat Mia Yim in her opening night, even the Manti floated that fucking ball out there, it still makes Mia Yim look like absolute dog shit. And it's going to take a lot for her to recover if she can at all. But then again, Retribution looks like a bunch of fucking goons every night because you got these giant 6'10" guys who, get knocked out by one punch from Ricochet. It's goofy, man. It's really goofy. You could have had something, you started off with something potentially very terrifying, and admittedly, none of us really liked it because we thought we were going to take a political bent with it. Instead, you went with the whole, we're mad because we didn't have jobs at WWE and we're taking down WWE. You subverted that, which was fine, but then you took away all the teeth of the group by making them just lose each week like a bunch of punk ass bitches. It's basically it feels like you took all the mistakes of the invasion and decided to just play those out again.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got a bunch of people invading who ultimately, as wrestlers, a lot of us don't care a whole hell of a lot about. And now they're losing constantly. So that's not a way to build up any interest in them. So our main event for the night was Sheamus and Drew McIntyre taking on Miz and Morrison. Team Celtic Pride was taking on, Eminem 2.0. Good match. Big boys got their shots in early on. And then Sheamus was in peril for a good portion of it before Manatee actually threw his second favorite ball of, DQ out there because AJ, who had been doing commentary, decided he would jump in at an opportune time and hit Drew with a phenomenal forearm and try and convince Miz to cash in, And he's like, Morrison hit him with the Starship Pain, which he does. He's like, and then Miz hits the skull crushing finale. And then AJ, has his bodyguard grab the briefcase and hands it to the thing. He's like, do it now. And Miz hesitates. And when you hesitate,
chickened out.
Well, he who hesitates is lost because he ended up eating a Claymore.
Of course he did.
Morrison gets his ass kicked out of there, and all of a sudden, AJ's left there by himself, facing down Drew, kind of doing one of those. we just back the hell out of here real quick, just give me 3 steps, mister, sort of situation. That Skinner song was playing in his head.
Mm-hmm.
Then the bodyguard pulls him over the top rope and like carries him out of his shoulder like a naughty child. And the entire time, AJ screaming is like, "You see this? He just saved your life. You're lucky he's got me. You're lucky he's carrying me out of here." Damn it, AJ Styles, you are hilarious.
Love it.
And yeah, incredibly enjoyable.
Legend.
I'm enjoying AJ not caring. I'm enjoying AJ at the end of his career.
He's just having fun with this
when
now.
he's still one of the best in-ring talents. He's obviously just having a blast. I like watching someone who is obviously enjoying themselves. So it's kind of why watching Shinsuke is no fun anymore. Like Shinsuke's just on vacation and checked out.
Yep.
So, and again, I don't blame Shinsuke for that. I blame how Shinsuke was booked.
Yeah.
He should be up there with Drew and Roman as far as toughness goes and on the level of competition. Instead, he's should shit that lower mid card.
He honestly should have been WWE champion a long time ago.
Long time ago when he won that Royal Rumble.
Up next, we're on the SmackDown today. I mean, what you think about the show?
I got through it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It wasn't bad. The Roman stuff is interesting. Paul is a master at, telling this story here. So again, I'm giving all credit to Paul, even if it's not him. He's just, again, when you see genius consistently and you see something genius happening on television and the genius is around it, you're going to fucking credit for the genius.
Even though he's rarely talking.
He didn't have to. The facial expressions in the background, like we say every time.
Exactly.
But we start off the night with Roman and company coming out. He's being interviewed in the ring, and he's just kind of being shitty to the interviewer. When KO eventually comes out, he's like, "Hey, you wouldn't come face me last week. Here I am. I put a beat down on your family. I'm here to challenge you. I'm not scared of you. Blah, blah, blah. KO.
Just getting under his skin pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. But KO ultimately challenges Roman to a TLC match at TLC for the championship, which Jay accepts for Roman. Jay gets a little too hyped and oversteps his bounds a little bit, which...
You know what this reminds me of? Kenny King in TNA. He was always the one who just wouldn't shut up and say something that shouldn't have been said.
It's just Bailey and Sasha thing, but more intense,
Yeah, pretty much.
But Roman, backs it up and does accept the challenge. And later on backstage, he'll tell Jay, Jay starts to apologize. Like, no, I had the best of intentions, but there's consequences to our actions. It's a little foreshadowing for later because we will get a tag team match at the end of our night with Roman and Jay taking on KO and Otis. Of course, Otis has got a bone to pick against Jay for attacking last week with that steel chair from behind.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We get a match between Bailey and Natty Neidhart. And the only reason I want to stop and mention this is because Natty freaking won.
Natty won with a sharpshooter.
Made Bailey tap out. Now, granted, Bailey was paying attention to Bianca Belair on the outside who was doing commentary. And, she was distracting her the whole match. But still, Natty Neidhart,
Natty won.
who usually jobs to everybody who isn't Tamina or the Iconics, won.
She won.
The boat won.
The boat won.
I was happy to see it. Natty Neidhart should be treated like fucking Charlotte Flair. She is part of a wrestling dynasty, and they treat her like a joke. And
she's the last of that dynasty. That's the thing about it.
I love Natty Neidhart. I wish she got more respect over the years. That's for damn sure. So, I guess I can just be happy she won this match instead of. But it's sad that I'm shocked she won a match against Bailey. That's a sad state of affairs that we thought to bring it up because it's such a weird thing.
Yeah, it really is.
But of course, this just adds to what will amount to a feud between Bianca and Bailey going forward, which I imagine Bianca will win because that woman's the future, damn it.
She is. She really is.
After this, we get a nice video tribute package to Pat Patterson with I Did It My Way playing with a couple of interspersed with some clips of him singing the song.
He sung it beautifully, honestly. He used to sing that song beautifully.
But it was really, really tastefully done, very classy. And I think it's exactly how Pat would have been sent out.
Oh, yeah. And thoughts and condolences and everything to his friends and family.
Yeah. It was a nice little tribute. And then we have a tribute match for him. We're going to have the IC champ and former IC champions facing off because, again, Pat Patterson was the original Intercontinental champion. So we have the team of Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, and Big E taking on Dolph Ziggler, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the IC champion, Sami Zayn.
Karen Zane.
Yeah, Comrade Karen, the communist Muppet. This was a really good match. It was done in loving tribute to Pat Patterson. The good guys won, and at the end, Dolph took, the multiple spots from the good guys, including DB hitting an epic atomic drop in memory of Pat Patterson.
Yes.
And this was just a perfect way to cap this all off. I mean, the match ultimately is not something that matters for storyline, but this was a loving tribute by men who cared a lot about Pat, were former IC champions who held the title honorably, and
they were friends with Pat.
it was really cool. It was really cool to see. Again, the atomic drop at the end was the best bit, and Dolph taking it as extreme as he did.
Who's better? Like who else would have took it better than Dolph?
No, Dolph sells better than anybody else. That's when people have. I think some people have speculated that's one of the reasons why he didn't get pushed as well, because he sells so good. It's like, But the 6-man tag match we forgot to mention was won by Daniel Bryant rolling up Sami Zayn, and I ultimately hope this does lead to a feud between the two of them, because I know that they kind of teased up beforehand when Daniel Bryan was talking about wanting to see the IC championship defended every week. So I want to see if a feud between Sami Zayn and
honestly,
Daniel
I think
Bryan.
this eventually is going to lead to Big E getting the Intercontinental Championship.
Well, here's hoping, but them having DB win tonight and having beat Sami Zayn, and normally whenever they have, especially when a heel beats a champion, they usually come back the next week going, I deserve a title match because I beat the champion last time. So obviously I've proven I can beat the champion. Maybe DB will get the shot now since he rolled up Sami this time around.
In that case. So let's get into our main event, which was KO and Otis versus Jay and Roman. Now, coming out, KO and Otis are pretty pumped for this. And we see Jay Uso come out. As he's coming out, he's just waiting.
Waiting for that Roman music hit, and it doesn't hit. And so, Jay starts this match up.
So we're under the impression, Roman's pissed at Jay. This is about to be a handicap match.
These are those consequences he was talking about.
Oh.
And it starts out that way for about the first 5 minutes. And then the second that Jay gets his first little bit of offense in,
boom, Roman music hit. And
Roman comes out with this giant Band-Aid on. That gold glove looks fucking ugly at a distance. It really does.
His Infinity Gauntlet?
Yeah, it looks terrible at a distance. It looks like a giant cast. Mm-hmm. Looks like a flesh-colored cast.
Yep.
But, so, we don't see Roman get tagged in too much, but what we do see is when Roman gets up, he gets in the ring without tagging and just beats the crap out of Otis.
Yeah, Otis was on the ring apron. He wasn't legal either. And Roman just goes around to the outside and just starts beating his ass
with the steel steps. Like, where's the DQ at?
No DQ is called. And like Corey said some stupid lines like neither men are tagged in, so this is legal. It's like, this is not legal. You can't just walk around. Like the two guys who are not in the ring can't just start using weapons on each other. Like it doesn't become the rules of disqualifications aren't suspended when you're not tagged into the match. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
But then you see how the match ended.
But just shits and giggles. So Otis is carted back to the back. So now it's a 2-on-1 with KO taking on
both Jay and Roman. But you see how the match ended.
Yeah, KO's getting his ass beat, and they go and get chairs, and they just start. Before that, DQ'd it.
They DQ'd it. Roman just gets in the ring and didn't get out. Yeah, the management's second favorite ball.
Again.
Roman didn't get tagged in. He just goes in, attack KO, and puts the guillotine on him.
Yeah, he wanted.
And the ref calls a DQ on that.
He wanted Jay to finish it, but Jay got stunned instead, and Roman just got frustrated and locks that guillotine on. And that apparently is where the fucking ref drew the line.
Well, actually, Jay was about to finish it, and then Roman wanted Jay to tag him in. And then, he was like, I'm about to finish. No, it's my show. I always finish it. Now tag me in.
Where'd the stunner line, all that? I freaking.
In between that.
In between that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because Jay picked up KO and he hit Roman. Then he hit Roman. And
that's right.
And then KO did the stunner.
Yeah.
Roman came in and stopped the pinfall and put him in the guillotine. That's where the DQ came in.
It all just runs together with a big line of bullshit because we can't get a fucking clean anything around
So
here.
that gets a DQ, but beating the other opponent up with steel steps don't.
Yeah, this was
Yeah, ridiculous. Oh, but the ridiculousness doesn't end there. They grabbed chairs and beat the crap out of KO.
I don't dislike seeing a Roman go nuts like that, him getting frustrated, him not getting any clean wins because for all of his talk, he can't actually get a clean win over somebody. I like the KO heart. I like the fact that they made him on the back step because Otis was taken out. It's just you guys had to break your own rules to make it happen because you weren't clever enough to figure out an actual way to get to this point. You're like, fuck, the only way to get from point A to point B is to cheat. So we just hope the audience doesn't notice. And I hate to break it to you, Sunshine. We notice. All right. You got news?
Gunny Lackey is looking for a new assistant who's, might be a little iconic.
I could totally dig that.
I mean, she's been passing her resume around, so I think it's going to be awesome.
I could dig.
I think it's going to be very iconic.
I would love to see Billy Kay doing the Dana Brooke analytic role, but actually for someone who matters, as opposed to Titus Worldwide. Because
don't kill him, Titus.
No, that'd be awesome, man. Like Billy Kay may not be she's awkward when she wrestles. She looks awkward. Now she doesn't look unsafe. She just looks gangly. You know what I mean? Like if you took Jennifer Aniston out of Central Park and had her go toss the pigskin around in the park, you know what I mean? Now she looked like she'd try and catch a football. She just looks.
But this is what made the Iconics such a an iconic tag team. Like one was a better wrestler, the other was.
Anytime you say it, we have to do it.
Yeah, I know. You got to let me get to that.
You said iconic. You have to stop what you're saying. Do it.
Oh.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah, one was the better wrestler, but one was more entertaining. The other was more entertaining.
Yeah, exactly. So you go ahead and shift Billy Kay to the backstage role where she can be basically Tajiri to William Regal, which what?
Except Gunny Lackey and what's the name is going to actually get along.
Take a little bit of news. There's a ray of sunshine for Braun Strowman. Apparently, his injury isn't as bad as what it seems to be. He didn't need surgery.
Okay.
Oh,
he's
good.
just rehabbing it, so he's probably just spraying an ACL, MCL, something like that.
Groovy. All right.
Awesome.
Do love me some Braun Strowman, but they need to take advantage of him. He needs to get a longer championship run now while he's still mobile, because eventually he's going to get big showed.
Yeah.
Where he keeps going back and forth between face and heel.
No, his knees are fucked up.
It's where you can't have a sustained run with him. You just bring him in to look scary for 5 seconds, then ultimately lose to somebody. Old Kane, Big Show. They're the monsters who
Great Khali
are just there to be overcome by somebody in their story arc. They never have their own story arc. You know what I mean?
And they do that with a lot of the big guys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
They're just there to get knocked down.
Great Khali, Mark Henry.
Well, Great Khali couldn't fucking wrestle.
All right. Last little bit I got is actually happens to stem from AEW Impact. They talked to Triple H recently, Thursday, I believe, is what the article says, about the possibility of inter-promotional working.
Well, I know you said AEW and Impact are going to start doing their shit together.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to get together and convince NXT to do stuff together too?
Well, no, it just one of the wrestling interviewers just asked Triple H what his thoughts were about it.
Oh, well, asked Trips what his thoughts were about it.
Because Cody always wanted to get that idea of the War Games to AEW because that was originally his dad's idea. So I get it. I get why they want to do that. The original idea of War Games. They just can't call it War Games because WWE owns those rights.
I think the inter-brand stuff has potentially very exciting, but no matter what you do, it will never be as exciting as if you had WWE on board, and you'll never convince them to be on board. But it'll be neat for them and for fans of those shows. It would be cooler if it was, if I gave a shit about Impact. I mean, I like AEW, all right, and I appreciate what they're doing, but I mean, I'm more surprised that Impact is limping along and staying relevant by, sucking up at least a few decent talent that left WWE. That shocked me. So, I mean, that's about all the credit I can give them right now.
Yeah. Well, Tripp said he's not opposed to the idea. He said the idea is open, but it's just going to be what's going to be beneficial for them in the long term. And not long term as in 6 months from now. He was talking 10, 15 years down the road.
Which I get that. And on top of that, his father-in-law is still alive, so he can't make the final decisions on that.
Basically, once Vince dies, he can start doing things that benefit wrestlers more than just the bottom line. because I think through and through, Triple H will never stop being a wrestler.
No.
So I think whenever it comes down to it, I hope and pray, and I think that Triple H is going to do some things that it's going to be better for the business, but not necessarily business in the short term. But ultimately, like you said, will be better for his business in the long term.
And honestly, Triple H do go into this with the best intentions. You know, he has a different way of thinking than Vince McMahon.
Yeah, we never bagged on Trips. We bagged on Vince constantly, but we're bagging on.
I know if Trips had a choice in there, he would have made that Sting versus Taker match happen too.
Trips, I think he's a fan first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he even says that.
So
We're all fans, and we wouldn't be part of this. But
all right, guys, that was Heels Up. I am sorry for this disjointed fucking episode, man. We were seriously delirious because I don't even know. Was it just the shitty food or
fish sticks, man?
Like the lack of alcohol because I haven't had any today. Maybe that's why I'm off my game. I'm sober. It's mind-numbingly sober and full of shitty, terrible frozen foods. Oh, this is not a way to live. Going through life fat, drunk, and stupid. It's no way to live, son. But we forgot to mention that after the Roman match, after they beat up on KO and shit, Roman attacked Jay with the chair. And it's like, how many times do I got to tell you? And start wearing his ass out with the chair. So Jay can't do anything right. Roman's going to keep fucking him up, it looks like. So that added a little, that made it a little more interesting to me. That when that happened, when he attacked Jay, I'm like, all right, because I know that he's not like turning on Jay and they're going to be fighting against each other again. This is just more of Jay's punishment and his consequences. I'm just, the further he goes and the more
kind of bored with it now.
Sinister he is towards his family, and the more cold-blooded, and the more you're revealing that there isn't any good intentions underneath. It really is ultimately just selfish and violent and cold-blooded. Like, it's an interesting story arc and an interesting portrayal. And it's something that's even more sinister than what, Brock Lesnar was. So Paul's like, hey man, I'll come and be your guy, and we're going to push you like the monster that Brock was, but let's just go even fucking further. Let's turn it up to 11. Let's just make you just the amoral puppet master and just a devious son of a bitch. I don't know, man. I think that once we get through the growing pains of it, though, and if you establish him as a long-term, the new Triple H, the new Darth Vader of the WWE, I think it has potential to be sustainable for the long term. And, how interesting it'll be will just depend on from feud to feud. But I think that's the way to go with his character from now on anyway.
I think WWE is feeling the way the rest of us. We're just trying to get through the year now.
Fucking hell. All right, guys. Again, that was Heels Up. Appreciate you guys joining us. Please like, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook and other social media because you do that stuff sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And then...
yeah.
Check out Caden's OnlyFans. All right, guys. Have a good week and say howdy, mother, for me.